All right, let's talk about data security. We're going to break down why you, yes, you, are the single most important part of protecting our organization's data. And, it's probably not for the reasons you think.
Okay, let's just kick things off with one really powerful number, 95%.
So, what's that about? Well, that is the staggering percentage of data breaches where a simple, often unintentional human mistake played a part. So, what does that really mean? It means the biggest risk we face isn't some shadowy hacker in a dark room. Nope, it's the small, everyday actions and choices that we all make right at our desks every single day. And listen, the stakes for getting it wrong are incredibly high, which brings me to another really important number, 4%. And what that 4% represents is, well, it's huge. A single mistake could cost the company up to 4% of its entire global annual revenue. See, this isn't just an IT issue. It is a business-critical responsibility for every single one of us. So with stakes that high, let's break down the rules of the game, right? This is the what you absolutely need to know to play your part. First things first, what is GDPR? Well, you can think of it as a really powerful law that's all about giving people more control over their personal information. It sets these strict global standards for how companies like ours have to collect, store, and use that data. Now, GDPR protects something called personal data. And this is where it gets interesting, because that term is way broader than you probably think. It's not just the obvious stuff. I mean, seriously, look at this. We're talking about IP addresses, customer IDs, even our own internal HR records. All of these things and more are considered personal data that you might be handling every day, maybe without even realizing it. Okay, so we know the what. Now let's get practical and talk about the how. How can you become our first and honestly our best line of defense? Let's start with the most common threat we all face, probably every single day in our inbox, phishing. And we all think we're pretty good at spotting a fake email, right? Well, here's the dangerous part. Our confidence doesn't really match up with reality. While a huge 86% of us believe we can spot a scam, studies show that nearly half of us have actually fallen for one. And that gap, right there, that's where the real risk is. So how do we close that gap? Well, it comes down to 5 simple but seriously powerful habits. Think of this as your daily security checklist. It's everything from only accessing the data you truly need for your job, to that simple act of just double-checking who you're sending an email to before you hit send. These small things make a massive difference. And if you're wondering just how much these little habits matter, let me tell you a quick story about an employee at Heathrow Airport who just lost a USB stick. That one little mistake led to a 120,000-pound fine. And why? Because the sensitive personal data on that USB stick wasn't encrypted. It was a direct result of a weak security habit. That's a very expensive mistake. And all of this really leads to the most important idea of all, our shared responsibility in building what we call a human firewall. This quote really says it all. That's what a human firewall is. Our security isn't just about software or servers, it's about us. It's about the conscious choices we all make every single day. By embracing these practices, you actually shift your role here. You go from being a potential liability, a weak link in the chain, to becoming our most valuable security asset. You become a proactive guardian of our data and a builder of customer trust. And just remember, this isn't about one heroic act. It's about the small stuff. Every single time you lock your screen, or you question a suspicious email, or you use a strong password, you are actively making our entire security culture stronger. Your small actions create a really powerful defense. So I'm going to leave you with one final question. Looking at your own habits, what is the one small thing you will start doing differently, starting today, to become an even stronger part of our human firewall?